SPYS. I think maybe Athena kind of got budged in here. I'm not sure if they were expected to go to coastline, but we'll see how they do, as we are going to be moving into the map. It's going to be our second matchup of the day, SPYS versus Samsung Morningstar's Athena.
Let's get into it. And now both teams are going to have to go through the grueling process of banning out their operators. Of course, if you're new to the competitive scene, banning operators, you get two bans, one attacking, one defensive, and they can shift the tides completely. A Capital ban, not surprised that's actually going out from SPYS. We did see some of Athena play, and we are having an RH in chat. Not sure what the request is there, whether or not. Okay, so someone is having ridiculous ping at the moment, which should not be happening. So we will come back to our beautiful, gorgeous faces. You know what? What frustrates me, James?
Yeah.
Is that we can come back to our faces, but you're always going to outshine me.
Well, yeah, that is something you have to do with them, Fred.
I will take that one, James. You know what? I'll go. I'll sit by myself later, and I will think, how can I outshine James in the future? And I'm not sure whether or not we're going to be able to have that, but that's going to be a rehost. I don't think that will count as their rehost for the game. I think that's some kind of technical error there that we've had. One of the players is obviously, or maybe the custom game wasn't set on the correct EU server. Or that one of their players had some kind of connective issues there. So that'll get rectified pretty quickly. But what do we think about Coastline? Because now we have time to talk about what we're thinking.
Something that we should talk about first is operator bans, right? We didn't really talk about that too much already. But what's interesting is last week, both teams actually banned the exact same operators. They both banned Monty and Mirror.
Yeah.
So we didn't see a Monty ban yet. I'm not sure if they're going to redo bans or adding back bans or whatever is going to happen here. But so we're not seeing any Monty ban. But I feel like the Monty ban was more kind of a map based because SPYS played Clubhouse obviously, and then Samsung played Cafe against Penta. So potentially the Monty is kind of like more map based. I would expect a Mirror ban because Mirror can make Coastline much easier for the defense. It can make Penthouse a lot more viable as well. Kind of considered one of the worst sites on the map now, but when Mirror was up pretty much every game, Penthouse was kind of your go-to.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't expect them to ban a Monty. If they do, that's got to be a very specific target ban because on a map like Coastline, you just don't use Monty that much. He's not that effective. You more looking for those operators that can supply fragging capabilities. You know, that's why you see a lot of ACOGs run on Coastline because, you know, it's a big square, big rectangle map where you're just looking to take those long engagements either from rappels or doors or windows. So yeah, that's and a lot of verticality I expect to come out of both of these teams. We saw the way that Titanium in our last game used verticality to their absolute, you know, advantage. I expect these teams, both I would say higher tier in this league teams, be capable of such verticality on a map like Coastline especially. So I expect that to come out. But the Capital ban wasn't a surprise to me. There's a lot of places you can use firebolts and get people out of really key positions. So I'm glad that's off the board because I think we'll see a far more competitive matchup as a result of that really powerful utility not being available to the attackers.
Yeah, he can be pretty good for kind of just clearing out sites. I mean, especially for like a billiards attack, right? Like you can smoke off the entire site and then you can just fire behind billiards. Smoke can't play behind there anymore. And yeah, Capital can really be dangerous, especially I remember back in CL last season, I think it was Sonics who used to, when on Coastline, they would get to the top, and when it was a blue bar attack, they would smoke off the courtyard so that you could push into the back of blue bar. So yeah, like Capital has a huge amount of uses here. Something that makes Coastline really attacker-sided is there's just so many angles. You can sit outside the whole game and you can just win through pure angles.
Yeah.
If you've ever been against Doodle from Luminosity Gaming in ranked, he will literally sit in Africa somewhere from some mindless angle and will kill you, and you'll think it's hilarious. So, like, that just proves like Coastline is just one of those maps where you can find these like really obscure angles.
I agree, and there's a lot of roof control that you can have. You can actually sit one person up on roof and watching multiple flank areas, so it can really lock those defenders out. And it's probably why it has such a close percentage-wise on both win and attack, win and lose attacking and defending rates. So I think that's why these teams are looking to even the score out on that one. But both teams are back in the lobby. It's looking like hopefully these technical issues will have sorted themselves out and we'll finally get into this. And both teams looking, we will have Athena start on attack. Hopefully these bans will be reminiscent of exactly, and yes. A beautiful observer confirming that we must have the same bans in there, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll see the Capital come out and then bans will go on from there.
Yeah, Capital, Jackal, and Maestro. I'm not sure if we got a 4th ban or not. And there was no 4th ban. Thank you, Simon. Perfect. We'll go through and see how that's
perfect production in the background. Shout out to the perfect production, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. This is all community and voluntary runs, so their work is absolutely monumental. So we'll see those same bands come out, as James said, the Capital, the Jackal, the Maestro, and what are we thinking the last one? You're thinking a Mirror?
It's got to be a Mirror, yeah. Both of these teams banned Mirror last time, so I guess Mirror, but also SPYS do start on the defense here, and we did say that Mirror just makes it so much easier to defend if SPYS maybe think they're going to struggle in their attacks, which they were definitely doing last week against Titanium Cloud on Clubhouse. Maybe we could see no Mirror ban from them, but yeah, it's gonna be Mirror. I hate when you're like trying to overthink bans and they just do what you're expecting them to do.
Yeah, look, that's a pretty predictable one there. A lot of people rely on a Mirror ban. A lot of people actually only scrim and dry run without Mirror. So a lot of people are feeling comfortable with that. We saw T3H last week actually as a really key indicator. Mirror wasn't banned and they didn't play it once. So it goes to show how a lot of these people rely strategically on just doing what their set strategies are. So we'll see whether or not that's going to come through and shine through here. But starting on Hookah Billiards, not a surprise, probably the most popular site or one of the most popular sites of Coastline, and a good couple of 6 picks coming out. That Valkyrie actually is perfect. A lot of people don't know Pascal, who is Valkyrie, by the way, so she is still rocking that Pascal name in game. She is known as one of the dominating Valk players in all of the female games I've ever played in my experience in Europe. So she's a scary Valk. A lot of teams ban Valk against any teams that she's playing in. So huge that she's going to be able to play Valkyrie on a map like Coastline, which is super detrimental.
Yeah, Valkyrie can definitely be really powerful on Coastline. Like, you don't get to sit outside and just do whatever, and the game's going to crash. That is really unfortunate.
Oh,
it's really unfortunate because last week we didn't have a single issue production-wise. Like, every game just went smoothly. There were no crashes whatsoever. And, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to tell you with this one. They haven't called a rehost.
It's the Ent strategy where you TK as like a blood sacrifice, and then it makes you better at the game.
Oh, I see. So you lose one, blood sacrifice another, and then it puts, a safety net on the last 3 remaining, yes?
Yes, exactly. So it's here in my strat book from last season.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
I'm a little bit bewildered by that one. It quite possibly is going to be the strategy they run from this. I actually don't know if that was an accidental TK or not. I think they must have assumed they were going to get a rehost or whatnot, but it doesn't really matter because now Athena is going to get a 2-woman lead up on this round going in, and looks like VIP is where they want to take it from. And Irical the Miracle swings on in on the IQ, and she's expecting a run out, but with 3 players left on the defense, I assume they're going to play pretty tight on site.
Yeah, you would definitely expect that, but it looks like they are kind of spread out. In fact, we actually have Tribat on a very deep roam as the Legion right now, which is definitely interesting considering how easy it is to push this site. We're not playing with Nitro's below. She doesn't have an impact either. So this is questionable. Gridlocks are going to be going down, however, onto White Stars.
She does push up, and she does have the possibility of a good angle, but she can hear the tracks being shot, and actually Tribatten's just going to use it as a bait and run away, so that's going to give a bit of time to stall out for the attackers. And I think that's what the defensive side is going to look to do. They're just going to try and stall out these attackers, take some initial picks, because if they can even this out, Pascal not able to connect those shots the way she wants to. A random girl is going to take a nick of damage, but nothing so far, and over half the round has elapsed, so Athena is still in a good position to take this.
Potentially, but like they're actually holding on quite well. I mean, there's been no picks. If anything, that kind of moves things into the favor of the defenders, but things are starting to get opened up now a little bit. Legion's still holding down, but it's really going to be down to Miux to try and see what she can do. What a great shot, Miux is going to take one down, almost finds the second here onto luggage, and Miracle's actually fallen off. This is not good. What happened there? That roof's slippy, I guess.
I believe she went to jump out and go repel on Aqua, and as she was jumping out, she got downed by the Mozzie. And actually, Muix, she doesn't care that they're down players. In fact, the blood sacrifice is working exactly like they planned, James.
Yeah.
And they're actually very likely to take this round. 2 down, 1 left. It's up to a random girl. Irical, the Miracle, is going to make her way and ascend upwards. And now it's all over Red Rover for this round. And I cannot believe it. The blood sacrifice worked.
Well, yeah, like that's a standard strategy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
I think Novo's going to just leave again. Just be like, you know what, guys? You don't even need me.
Yeah, it's like one of those things in sports is if everything works out the exact same way, if you do everything the same way, then it'll all work out and it'll all just play out the exact same way as well. And you'll still win.
Oh, poor Novo. Back into the game, however. She'll pick up the smoke and she'll be back in, and hopefully Alice won't be TK'd in this round, so she'll have the opportunity. They will move to kitchen after winning hookah defense with only 3v5, so I think Samsung Athenas are going to be feeling the pinch now. They lost what should have been a round that they should have won, and now they need to make sure that they're pushing kitchen effectively. They've got the operators for it. I do wonder whether or not Irical could possibly use her utility a little bit more. She's on the IQ. She needs to be spotting out a little bit more of these leisure mines, etc. That's her utility usage. That's what she needs to be focusing on. A lot of people were stepping on stuff, so but they've got the sledge for the verticality, so I expect them to do another VIP take for this one.
Sorry, my mic was weird. Normally you would expect the VIP take here. Like having the sledge, having like a lot of soft attrition here, like we've already seen shotgun usage coming out from Electra. So yeah, I think something that they have to avoid is pushing down a small hallway against the Mozzie, something that clearly didn't work out so well for them last time. It's also kind of incredible that they lost that 5v3 on kind of like one of the most attacker-sided maps in the game. That really just shows how disciplined that SPYS are.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when I said that I figured they'd anchor on site, the aggressiveness that they used actually was in their favor there. So really good hold of Aqua by Mercs herself, and that's going to put them a leg up going into the first round. And both of these teams, and look at this, she just is so heavily aggressive. She's playing in such detrimental spots, and she's going to get punished for it. Ice is going to cap her off there, and Mozzie's not going to be as detrimental as she wants to be. And Tribatton's actually completely off site with the ACOG. She's going to spot the head. She's going to miss, and Electra is on fire, but she'll get traded straight back by Valkyrie. And it just trades back and forth, James. Look at a shot like that. Ice was like, good night.
Yeah, that was really good stuff coming out from her. Pascal's going to go for the Nitro for the vertical play, but it isn't going to hit just yet. No, we're trying to play it around where she can. Surface entrance getting smaller and smaller by the second. This vertical play getting opened up. And this is exactly what you should be doing in this situation. I like the shotgun being brought here by Nova now, just to see what can happen here. And she should be able to play the vertical play quite well, but Ice is going to shut it down. It's all down to Pascal now, otherwise known as Valkyrie, to try and bring this in for her team. Doesn't have a Nitro left remaining, doesn't have a huge amount of utility, but still has all the control in the world. But that timer, there's so much time still left on the board in a 4v1. It seems unlikely, but this is definitely one of the star players here for SPYS. Should be able to bring something in.
That vertical control that they gained so quickly, and the way that Ice was just able to dominate with the ACOG. The diffuser plant will go down. She hears it, and she's actually doesn't have a C4 to challenge this, and that vertical control over the rotate is beautiful, and I believe that was a 4K for Ice.
Yeah, really well played by Ice. She, like, that incredible headshot that she landed on the first kill onto Echo, absolutely beautiful shot. But this is exactly how you should play the vertical play as well. Like, if you know where they are, you vertical play over both of them, you try and make them guess where you're going to peek from, and then you peek from an angle and just destroy them with a pre-fire. But also, using the vertical play to cut off rotates is exactly how you should be playing that. And you know what the problem there was from SPYS' issue?
Mm.
They didn't do the blood sacrifice. Novo didn't leave. Classic mistakes.
Classic mistake, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to commit to the blood sacrifice, you want to make it a clear-cut thing. You can't just do it once and get out. You got to do it every time. And poor Novo's not going to be able to make much of a dent in the opposition there. But I think both of these teams are feeling quite happy with how the first 2 rounds have gone for themselves. They've got 1 round apiece, and they'll go back to kitchen and hope that they can hold this more effectively. They're going to hold it effectively, and they're going to have the ACOG up in bedroom. They've obviously rotated off of that echo now, so they don't have the echo, but if they're going to hold upstairs, they need to make sure they're doing so not so aggressively. I think they need to hold their angles, wait their time for them to move in to penthouse, and that's when they can start to strike.
Yeah, Coastline's kind of a hard one to call on that, like to play patiently, because there's a lot of control that can go into the favor of attackers very, very quickly, and then it's kind of putting the pressure on the defenders to act and do something. I think Valky kind of had the right idea with playing below with the Nitro and trying to catch the sledge out of that, because in reality, they only actually had sledge for that vertical play. Like, they're not bringing a Burk. I'm going to assume that IQ has breach charges, like she really should do in this situation. So, like, they don't actually have a lot of options for that vertical play. No, it doesn't have breach charges. Okay, so I feel like it's a little bit of a mistake, unless Sophia is bringing breach charges.
Hopefully someone on the side of Samsung Athena is bringing the breach charges, because you cannot rely on one operator like a Sledge, especially a Sledge who's peeking so aggressively as we saw in last round. So hope that we can take the pick. And Electra! She's going to take out the star player of SPYS. And there's also another one laying there, Alice. She could take this Repel off guard. And if they don't drone this out, they need to make sure they're careful with their intel collection here, because Alice is not moving a muscle.
Very, very patient. Good upside down Repel angle here from Electra. However, Alice... See, this is the kind of thing as well, like, attackers are getting more control. You feel like you can't just play patiently, you have to act, and I feel like Alice is starting to feel that pressure right now. Nancy Drew is holding this great angle through onto the third door, and this is getting closer and closer. SPYS are definitely running out of room to maneuver. Alice is just going to get the hell out of there. She just still have a little bit of obsessed control, however, in the luggage now.
She needs to make sure she stays close to Miux on the Muzzy, because that is going to be detrimental. They swing in. Miux is able to take one. And whether or not they're able to get the refrag or not, they need to have someone pinch from theater door, but it's not happening. They do have the crouch walker coming up. Miux is not aware of it, and they're going to take her off guard, and that's going to be the kill. And a beautiful pinch push from both theater and penthouse door there. And now it's just Alex and Novo left. Samsung Athena's beautiful clear, and they have more than a minute left, and they're going to get vertical control, James. This is just a beautiful top floor clear that they've been able to accomplish.
Yeah, and kind of just the exact same thing they were doing last time now. They've got the upstairs control now. They can start to work with it. The Sledge is just going to start opening up what she can. I think that Alice is waiting very, very patiently for them to try and commit to this upstairs play, and then she's going to go for that retake. She is going to go for it, but the pre-fire is just missing. Oh, that is a disaster right now. Ice, very, very low HP, but not down just yet. Electra is going to go for a punt right now, but Nova should be able to deny this right now. She's bringing out the shotgun, goes for the wide peek, it would seem. She's gone off the diffuser, actually, and Alice going to move in from above, and it's going to swipe it down. Shotgun's going to come out. Smokes are going to go out as well from Nova. A little bit misplaced, though. I don't think it hits the diffuser. No, it doesn't, but she uses the shotgun anyway and gets it down. Great play from Novo. It's going to take down Electra, and that's diffuser with it. Nancy Drew looking to try and refrag this. Looks like they're trying to push the bathroom out. Novo does go down and out of it, but the upstairs control is still in Alice. She's going to try and rotate down. She will do successfully. They know where the plan's going now. What a pre-fire from Alice! And the pre-fires continues to go down. She gets a double kill out of it and clutches the round for SPYS. Oh my god, what a great duo from Alice and Nova there to bring in the round.
It should have been Samsung's round right then and there. They had the plant going down. They had everything they needed. But unfortunately, they forgot to get rid of the intel that was spotting them continuously throughout that planning process. And that was to their complete detriment. And that's why Alice was able to default down. She actually didn't even need to engage the person in bathroom stall. She could have just wallbanged the planter and it would have been over because there was no time left. So great round from SPYS there. And I think Samsung's going to be kicking themselves because they definitely had that one in the bag.
Yeah, that is unfortunate as well, because that wall's normally reinforced with the smoke to try and play around, but Novo actually did pretty well there to play around a
Attackers
very
need to locate
aggressive
and
position
defuse bombs.
and still managed to deny the plank going down. Potentially could have done a little bit better with the smoke, but she
Mm-hmm.
didn't need it, and in the end it just went well for her. So we'll see the rest just go down. I feel like they're kind of over reliant on the sledge of the vertical player, because he's the only one who
Attackers
sits
have
up there.
located a bomb.
Yeah, absolutely. They do have multiple people up there to begin with, but then they start to rotate down to service entrance for the plant, which is appropriate. But, you know, if you
Yep.
don't have the correct flank holds that you need, then that's going to be super detrimental to your right. So to rely on the sledge solely to hold the flank, to hold the rotate from above, to take vertical picks, I think it's too much to
5
give the
seconds
sledge
left.
player of Ice. And whilst Ice has been absolutely gunning, and I actually did play with her the other day, and I tell you what,
Defuse a bomb.
James, she carried me quite heavily. So shout out to her. And she's showing here today what kind of a fragger she is. But too much for one player to handle, I think. And I think they need to share the load a little bit there.
Yeah, it's also surprising. I think we were kind of expecting Valkyrie to kind of go off here. I mean, she's on one of her most famous ops on a map that is very, very nice for Valkyrie to be on. Okay, there you go. That was kind of weird.
The hatch did not want to break, James.
You just gotta knock it the right way, you know. Sometimes you just gotta be a bit gentle.
Look at this cam. Beautiful pre-placed drones there from Samsung. I think this is why they've been able to take control so quickly, is because their pre-placed drones are in really key positions. Their droning has been spot on, James.
Yeah, it's been pretty spot on right now. Nancy Drew going to be opening up to see what she can do here. And this is looking like the pretty normal tape they were doing last time, where they would open up that hole onto to VIP and get that angle. It should go nicely for them. We'll see how the rest of it does go down. Everything's very, very slow right now. Like, there's a lot of map control actually going into the favor of the attackers, but in the round of things, like, there's still so much utility on the board. I think last time they tried to do this really heavy push through aquarium into luggage, but they had no one on the luggage repel onto the aquarium balcony repel. There was no one aquarium
Attackers dropped
balcony,
the diffuser.
and there was
Attackers
no one on
recovered
the
the
like the
bomb
double
diffuser.
window outside of billiards. So I don't think there's really a lot of crosses being established here by the sounds of it.
I could see, and you could see here, beautiful bird's eye view there from our beautiful observer, and that's going to give you guys an indication exactly what Athenas want to do. They've rotated a predominant amount of their players over for the aqua take. Nancy Drew, that long angle from VIP is perfect, and they're using these tracks to be able to stop the flank, and it's actually going to stop Alice because she either has to melee or hit the tracks, and they're going to hear that behind them. Surely they know that this flank is happening. Nancy's going to collect another one through VIP, and now Alice is stuck. There's no possible way for her to be able to do the flank, and they're going to be able to get this plant down with over 30 seconds left.
This is definitely looking very squishy right now, as right before it gets underway. This is 30 seconds left to go on the clock, and there's actually so much still into the favor of the defense. Oh, what an angle from Valkyrie! Just managed to take down Electra, and she gets another one through it. What was that? That diffuser is just not getting picked up as long as Valkyrie is looking at it, and this is not looking too good. All of a sudden, Samsung not looking too good on this attack. Ice just managed to take out Valkyrie from below.
10 seconds left.
Alice still here with the bullet holes. Should be able to hold it down. Smoke is doing a lot of work to deny this defuse going down. Nancy Drew has the angle, but was unable to find... No! The TK comes through as well, but Alice just managed to take out Ice and saves the round for SPYS. Oh my god, what happened there? What a disaster. Like, they have this cross, but Novo very smartly plays at the very back corner and is still able to deny the plant.
My good, those smokes by Novo, you can tell she's a very experienced smoke player because she knew how to time them. She knew how to wait between them. She waited patiently. And even though the first one was baited, she didn't fall for the second and third. And the way that Valkyrie, Pascal, you know, dropped downstairs and was like, I know I have a vertical hole for this. I actually think she was going to see 4 initially. And then when she saw the vertical hole, she was like, oh, easy. I can deny this without even needing to use my utility. So that's a 2K that actually saved that round for the side of SPYS. And this 3-1, I don't think is reminiscent of how actually close these rounds have been. So good for SPYS to be able to take those rounds. But I think Samsung Athena's, I do want to praise them. Their early game is so strong, and I think it has something to do with those pre-placed drones, the way that they're droning their team in. No one's getting picked off too early, and the way that ICE is able to just get information, rotate to it, and take their heads off with the ACOG is also amazing. So early game strong, late execution game super weak from Samsung Athena's, unfortunately.
Well, we'll see how round number 5 gets underway. Clearly, these attacks have not been as organized as we really did think they were. But moving further forward, I think that there's still a decent chance to bring this back. I mean, like 3-1 isn't a bad scoreline whatsoever, but things really need to start to pick up the pace here for Samsung.
Absolutely, and they're going to run the same lineup and for a map like Coastline, you really don't need to change up your lineup that much, except for possibly adding an extra vertical control operator like Buff or something like that, a soft destruction operator. That might be the only thing you add or take out, and they're really methodical about the way that they do this. They're very, like, you can see Ice drops in because they've already got all the intel they need, that is clear on that side of the map. So it's quick, it's fast, but SPYS are just, they're too fluid. They're too fluid with the way they move around the map. They're confident. And I think that's putting a huge splinter in the way that Samsung is being able to move in and take extra sections of the map.
Yeah, there's a lot of control, but there doesn't really seem to be that much they're doing with that control, right? And they're allowing themselves to be flanked quite easily. SPYS have done a really good job of keeping roamers on the board, and as we talk about those roamers, Triban already get the first kill of the round. One of the star players from Samsung Athena going down very early on. That's going to be nades off the board, and all that vertical play off the board very early on as well. I like this drone from Yux. They can one it with the nitro as well.
A random girl's going to take that refrag, however, and she's going to be able to collect the Legion, who just was a little bit too aggressive there. No need, and these pings are coming out, and I think it wants to give Alice the opportunity. But look at this angle Electra's holding. That patience, that beautiful patience and luggage there is going to reap rewards, and now we're going to be having these trades back and forth, and maybe Samsung are able to do some dirty work here with the vertical holes that were already opened up previously by the Sophia.
Yeah, well, drone's still coming out from Miok, still seeing what she can do here and seeing if anyone is trying to push her, but Nancy Drew and Erica both still in VIP. There's not really too much work being done right now by Samsung Athena. They really need to get this vertical control underway. Looks like Electra going to be pushing through from the other side and see what she can do. Miok's trying to rotate down to Cool Vibes, but is going to get caught out. Is actually going to trade with Nancy Drew there. Nancy Drew scores a headshot, but she goes down for it. It's now all down to Pascal and Nova to try and bring this in. Nova still playing around onto the bottom of Cool Vibes to see what she can do here, but Miracle does have that upstairs control now. Leisure Minds are still getting felled off. What was that from Electra? It just hits the wrong button and throws a smoke grenade as a barricade as she tries to break through it. But Athena really needs to get them into position here. Looks like someone's going to pull entrance to see if they can push in. Pascal playing very patiently around there. Smoke going out to the opposite side, but looks like the majority of the push is coming through onto Sunrise. Gridlocks are going to go very, very deep. This Track Sting is trying to do some work to try and eliminate any roam potential, but Pascal going to take down one. Not expecting another, however, Pull Engines. Oh, she is going to flick around and take down Miracle. It's all down to Random Girl to try and bring this in for the attack, but it's just not going well. She's going to get downed. Nova unable to confirm the kill, however. SPYS take number 5.
Oh my goodness, James. I cannot stress it enough. These rounds, the way that they're going, Samsung look like they should win. Early parts of the rounds, the way they're taking their picks, they're holding their flanks, they're getting those initial picks from their fraggers, they look strong. It's when they go to execute and focus on the objective that everything falls apart. And that may be also the fact that we have beautiful support players like Novo on the side of SPYS who are really holding down the side, blocking off lines of sight as we saw with her smokes and just being there. And Pascal on site with the pulse really giving, Samsung a run for their money. So some beautiful plays by SPYS there, but they're hard fought. These rounds that SPYS are getting, they're hard fought rounds. They're down to 1-2 players every round. So that's a hard thing to put on a team and to constantly having them clutch out. So Samsung, now that they are onto their last round of the half on attack, they need to get this round, I think. Otherwise, they're going to be in a tricky situation pushing it to OT.
Something that is kind of interesting, and I'm going to guess is happening again, is that Novo always brings a shield. but never deploys it. I've never seen it go down.
I saw it on the first round go down.
10 seconds left.
I'm not sure if that's kind of some kind of strategy.
Yeah.
Like,
5 seconds left before.
I'm still trying to figure that one out. Oh, it has gone down this round.
Oh, it has
But
gone
like,
down.
there's like a
Attackers
bunch of times
objective
where it
is to
hasn't gone
defuse the
down.
bomb.
I don't know if that's intended or like what's going on with that.
It's hard to say because I did see in the second round she did deploy it over on when they were on the kitchen side, and I didn't think to check any other round. And of course, in the first round she disconnected, so I wasn't aware. But again, the same lineup coming out from Samsung Athena's. I like that they are confident. I like that they know what they want to do, and it's methodical. It's like a Team Empire approach, if I want to give it that. You know, they do the same thing. They put their drones in the same spot. Ice goes to the bathroom hatch every time. It can be seen as predictable, but if anything, that methodicalness might be to their I guess, advantage here. And they drone well, so this is going to spot all the people roaming in VIP, and they now know that there's 2 in there.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone's proven that you can do that, it is definitely Empire, but try batting with a nice pre-fire coming through from the VIP window. Nancy Drew gonna go down like a sack of potatoes, and this is just a disaster. Already losing your Havana Harbor reach, that's gonna be a detriment, but not the end of the world. A Vigil gonna go down now on a refrag from Miracle, and looks like they're gonna try and force their way into VIP. This very heavy upstairs hold. Pascal still holding it down herself. Doesn't have a nitro anymore remaining in her back pocket. And that space is getting smaller and smaller. Looks like they do know where she is right now, but no one's rotated to the hallway, and she's gonna get away with it. She's in there. So what a shot from Valkyrie! Oh my god, she is gonna get traded, but wow, insane shots coming out right now.
I mean, this roam clear that Samsung Athena's do, it's methodical. They're always pinching with multiple numbers. It must be terrifying to be a defensive roamer on the side of SPYS because they're always coming at you with numbers. And you see Miux, I'm sure she has a drone or a Valk cam up in VIP, and she's waiting for the call to be able to deploy that C4 and take a kill. And Alice still, she seems to be like sort of the random roamer that sort of runs around the map trying to flank, trying to take those picks, and she hasn't been that successful in this round especially. And now Electra getting lit from underneath by Mayux, and she's going to try and use her super shorty to give her the verticality, but they're losing time on this round, and a lot of the Samsung Athena girls are quite lit up.
Nova still playing below. It is very lit up, as you did say. Almost going for the pre-fire, but she is going to go down. Iracle takes her out from the lobby. This is a good coordinated push from Samsung. Let's see if they can turn it into a win. Oh, heads up coming out from Iracle there. It's going to take down Alice, and looks like they're going to finish it up. A random girl pushes Samsung from service entrance, and they're going to be taking it down. And that is going to be a 4-2 scoreline. And honestly, that's not the end of the world. I feel like you'd be pretty content with that scoreline.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, they really need to get that next round if they're going to feel confident going into the defensive half. I mean, Coastline we spoke about being a map not as heavily defensive-sided as many of the other maps, but it's looking that way at the moment for these teams in the way that they like to set up and play. So that aggressiveness that we see from them has been more defended-sided successfully. But shout out to the intel that Samsung Athena's had on that round. They droned out VIP. They knew there were multiple people in there. They got picked, but they got the refrag instantly. They got picked again. The refrag was taken instantly. That's a beautiful way to play Rainbow Six, is to have such refrag potential on your roam clearers. That's amazing the way they were able to do that. And the drone up near White Stairs, actually, that we didn't catch on the cam, but was there. And the way that Iracle was able to flick around as Alice dropped White Stairs, it's a beautiful bit of intel that unfortunately you guys can't see on the stream, but exists and makes this game so complex. So good on these girls for having strong intel game, but I think SPYS were running away with it with their mechanical prowess so far.
Yeah. Just a quick update as well from the other game that Queens did beat Hellside at a pretty clear 7-0 from their side. So
which map was that,
Queens.
James?
I have no idea.
I would love to know which
probably
map.
One of the maps in the game.
5 seconds to go.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one, just out of pure logic. But we will get a production in our ear letting us know exactly which map they were able to 7-0 Hellside on, and it was on Coastline as well. So,
okay.
My goodness, that's something you might want to get out of the ban phase against Team Queens if you're going up against them, ladies. So, something to think about in the future, I think.
Well, for this coastline, we're going to see round number 7 getting underway. It's going to be SPYS now moving on to their attack phase, and they're looking pretty good so far. We'll see how things are going to continue for them as we move on to their attack. I like the fact they're bringing a book here. I think, like, we talked about a book ban, which we did see last game. I think this is one of the maps where a book ban can be really effective, because there's just so much vertical play. We didn't see any book coming out from Samsung, but I guess this time we should see a little bit coming out from the SPYS.
They've already got downstairs control in its entirety, and now the Buck's going to do some work. I think Ice wants to challenge it, but surely she knows there's multiple angles looking at her, and she's been droned out. She'll finally collect that drone, but she wants to be able to hold cool vibes. And Nancy drew the beautiful spray, verticality below. Good night, Neox, and that's the Buck off the board. Now she can feel safer sitting underneath, unless Zofia wants to do some work.
Hibanas are going to be coming through onto that back billiards wall and see what they can do there. Novo trying to play below with his vertical play, but Book off the board. This isn't looking too good, but Tribaton is going to score a kill. Nancy Drew going to go down, and that is now the smoke and both the Valkyrie off the board as well. Now a 3-4 situation, and things decided to fall apart for Samsung. They still have control of blue stairs though. And that is not going to allow any push to come up that side, but they've actually not really playing many people close to the site here. Random Girl, however, is going to find Valkyrie in return. This is looking very interesting. This is very, very spread out still from the defense.
This game has been nothing but trades, back and forth, back and forth. You can see they're trying desperately to hold angles to get that refrag that we had a Random Girl take a pick on the Jaeger, but now it's a 3v3. They've got less than a minute left to try and make this push, and you can see Novo's going to rotate over, very likely to Aqua Balcony. I mean, when you've got only 3 people left, the best thing to do is to do an Aqua push, because you can hold luggage, you can hold the planter, and the planter can go down behind the bomb. But Electra surely still has her Yokais ready to deploy, and a Random Girl still over in VIP, so if she wanted to create some havoc, she could, and there's only 25 seconds left.
Yeah, just a few seconds left on the board. Echo drones are still up, but we do still have an IQ on the board, so shouldn't be too bad whatsoever. Logic Bomb is going to go in, but of course that's not going to affect Echo, and the plant is attempted to go down. EDS is finding both smokes, however, just behind the bomb, and the Echo drone is going to get found just before it can deny the plant. Echo trying to push up to deny the plant herself, but this is not looking too good. And the shots coming down as well. Alex takes down Ice, and this retake is not looking smart. Electra, the only one remaining, it seems, that the other one is down. And the pre-fire comes down, but not successfully, as the quick turnaround comes through from Tribaton, and SPYS take round number 7.
Absolute shame that they were not able to deny that plant. They were very much in a position. That Yokai drone, I believe the IQ had gotten that with her utility. Yes, that's why they were able to so cleanly get rid of that Yokai drone. Great usage of it there. I'm not sure if someone saw it, if there was an IQ play there. I actually missed that one completely, but had that Yokai still been in commission, that would have been a round over. Absolutely. So great job from SPYS there to rotate over to Aqua, get that plant down. The smokes were eaten, but it wasn't that much of a detriment because they were holding the rotate, so the plant was going down very easily.
Members of Queen in the Twitch chat saying that no, they are actually bad on Coast, so disregard all of that. A 7-0 on Coast means they're actually bad. So clearly don't ban it against them, I guess.
I mean, straight from the horse's mouth, yeah, I'm sure it's absolute truth that Queens are bad.
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
I don't think so, actually. You know, out of all of my experiences on the internet, they've been nothing but truthful. So, here we go.
So, we're going to get to round number 8, and we'll see exactly how this is going down. Samsung Athena not looking too good on Coastline themselves. Close round, though. Honestly, they had everything going for them there. It just seemed unlucky at the end. That Echo drone, they were relying on it so much, and the IQ came in, just killed that hope.
Absolutely. That's such a shame. They had that round. I keep saying it almost every round. The attackers should be winning these rounds, and SPYS are able to cap off the late execution. It's what Samsung Athena's struggled with, was getting those, those late executions, holding the plant down. They struggled with it, but SPYS have been overwhelmingly good at it thus far on their attacking half. So let's see if they can bring that back again. But Samsung Athena's setting themselves up. Got some good plant denial here. They've got the C4 capability as well, and I expect them to use that underneath because there's some vertical holes to play with. But what I like is that they've also moved Nancy Drew out of the spot, so she's not in a predictable spot. She's actually playing away from the shield so that when Buck goes underneath, she's not already in the position she was last round. So that's some great adaptation.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think this this position behind the billiards with the smoke is absolutely essential for you to be able to play well. Nova played it quite well herself, but she was really far back and she wasn't allowing that Habana hole or the from VIP to be able to get that angle on her. So being able to survive here as a smoke is pretty critical to denying the plant going down.
Those Habana pellets, beautiful. This line of sight that Alice has here is going to cripple the smoke's ability to stay alive here. You can see Nancy trying to get over the couch safely.
Yeah.
She's being pinched from underneath, from above, and I'm sure she'll start getting pinched from a couple of other angles, even VIP as well. So Alice has done her due diligence here. She's using her Habana pellets. Miyux is trying to use all of her skeleton keys to just displace everyone. Nades are still in pocket, and Tribaton will try and get into VIP. And are VIP walls not reinforced, James?
No, it doesn't look like they are. I'm going to guess those reinforcements have gone somewhere else, though. And we'll see exactly how that has worked out. But there is quite a heavy hold coming out from some. Okay.
Excellent.
Kind of hard to see.
On the opposite side, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
They are reinforced. So I actually think Alice used all of her X-Kairos on the quad wall, so I don't think they're actually going to be able to open up any line of sight from VIP, which I think is super detrimental because Nancy's still in that spot they haven't been able to get rid of.
So, good luck's not going to be going down. We'll see if any flank routes can come through, but SPYS Athena is actually having a pretty good time of it. I mean, they have a very spread out defense, but they still have this room control, and they could definitely still go for that flank into VIP. Random Girl is so close to be able to go through that flank through red and guitar, and to be able to just shut it down, but yeah, so those final few moments, Alice is going to be able to try and plant here. Smokes are going to go out. They're going to miss. This is not good, and the plant's going to go down. Despite the fact that everyone is alive on the defense, the plant is going to go down. Pascal's going to punish Random Girl for trying to move out of position, and this is looking like a very hefty retake coming out now. Yikes. Yeah, like, you can't retake like that on the roam, but Tribaton going to pick up an easy double kill. It's all down to the Echo, but all the way from the Aquarium Repel, it looks like she's going to be able to find the kill. SPYS take the round.
Such a shame, because for Nancy Drew, she actually could have been able to smoke correctly, but she was stuck in the corner because someone very smartly from the side of SPYS decided to finally repel double window, and that locked her in that corner. She had to prone. She tried to deploy her smokes. I don't know what happened there with the Echo play either. I assume the IQ had gotten those yokai drones that had left them out of commission.
She got one while repelled on the billiards window. I'm not sure about the other one, but she definitely got the first one while repelled. So
wow, that's I mean, you can't deny it then.
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, that was textbook from SPYS. I mean, I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't kill the smoke initially, because that is going to be hell in a cell for a smoke to be able to survive behind billiards when all of this stuff is just happening. But yeah, well played by the smoke. I think just kind of misplayed at the end, where normally you want to throw it on the floor next to the bar so that the smoke goes through the bar and denies the plank going down. You don't want to throw it over, because then it's just going to miss, and that was kind of like the key mistake that happened there. But other than that, like, really well played by the smoke to survive. But I think honestly that mistake, plus the fact that they didn't have the Echo drone in position, plus the fact they had two people offsite who weren't really doing, like, the Valkyrie could have rotated below to go and go for a Nitro. We saw that from a Valkyrie. She did manage to do that to deny the plant. This kind of, like, plant denial is really critical, because it's so easy to just tuck yourself behind this bomb and plant.
Absolutely. And you can't challenge it, at least with your gun. You cannot challenge that angle because you can tuck yourself so deep in behind the bomb. The metal bars are just going to collect all of your shots. And if you peek out, you've got double window, you've got aqua balcony, you've got aqua peak. There's too many angles to contend with. So that's why these plant denials and these verticality from underneath are pretty much the meta, the way to stop these plants going down. So unfortunate that this defense is not working out the way that they have planned, but overall, I think both of these teams are putting it. The scoreline is not. You know, if it does end up in a 7-2, I do not think it is reminiscent of how this game has played out thus far.
Well, we'll definitely see how the rest of it just go down, but SPYS are just doing so much work on the attack right now, and SPYS Athena don't want to sit in the defense just yet. We'll see if they continue to go into that trend, but Random Girl going to go for that peek onto Blue Bar, unable to find the kill just yet. A very heavy roam game yet again from Samsung, and if I'm being honest with you, I'm not a big fan of a big roam game like this.
I don't think it's been as effective. I think the roamers are being far too passive, and it's giving the attackers far too much map control. And you see Miux there. Ice is going to be so close to the window. That's going to take Miux completely off guard, and she'll take that kill. And that's going to even out numbers for the defense, and that's exactly what they need. Pascal's going to be able to repel in and take both theater and penthouse control. And there's a lot of drones around. There's a lot of intel for the attacking team, but I think these roamers are now doing the detriment we needed them to do before.
Tribath are going to be trying to push through into Hall of Fame, into Guitar, some people call it, into VIP. I'm trying to hold down this cross angle, but things not looking too good right now for Samsung. They've lost their smoke early on, and that could be pretty detrimental. Nova looking to contest the drone game. Looks like there is one behind Sunrise. She should be aware of this. What was that scream? Oh,
good night. Good night to Electra. Valkyrie Pascal is going to be able to get that wall bang. I believe she did get some kind of call out that someone was behind there, because that was a beautiful wall bang by Pascal there. This angle being held by Random Girl, that's beautiful. But unfortunately, whoever's on Hookah Door is very aware of that cool vibes hold. And a lot of drones coming out from SPYS. They're aware as to where everyone is, and this could really be detrimental. We've got a lot of people off-site. Ice going to get taken out from below, and this means that the plant's going to go out, but they haven't cooked the ADSs, so the smokes won't deny those lines of sight, and too many people off-site for them to be able to do this. Pascal's there for the flank and the retake, and that's just going to leave a Random Girl and a 1v4 plant down. It almost seems impossible.
Almost, but she's going to try and do it, but as I said, I was trying to big it up there, but yeah, Valkyrie is just too good. She just completely shut that whole thing down, and maybe we were expecting to do a little bit more on the first 2 rounds of the defense, but wow, yeah, just absolutely dominant from SPYS. Really well played from them. Potentially should be a little bit better VOD review coming out from Samsung if they really want to play that right. I think that their defense was way too spread out, that they were allowing these like really early plants